to the screens for the first couple minutes. Welcome. It's great to have everybody here. My name is Eric Fitz, Director and Co-Founder of Bethlehem Farm. On behalf of the board, my fellow caretakers, and all who helped plan this event, welcome to this year's benefit celebration, which is themed Go Repair It on the Mountain. So I'd like to share with you the mission of Bethlehem Farm for the new faces in the crowd. Explore our theme for tonight and share some shout outs from the past year. So, mission. Bethlehem Farm is a Catholic community in Appalachia that transforms lives through serving with the local community and teaching sustainable practices. We invite volunteers to join us in living the gospel cornerstones of prayer, community, simplicity, and service. Our mission has a threefold nature: transforming lives, service with the local community, and teaching sustainable practices. To some, Bethlehem Farm is a place to learn and grow in faith and love and to be transformed. Others see Bethlehem Farm as a place they turn to when they need a wheelchair ramp, a leaky roof repaired, or their home insulated. Still others look to Bethlehem Farm to learn how to walk more gently on God's good earth, to partner on a solar panel installation, work on an organic farm, or take a bucket shower. Whether the need is emotional, physical, or spiritual, people come to Bethlehem Farm seeking renewal through Christian community. And each of us then seeds this lifestyle to the world. So our theme, in this evening's first reading, remember the prophet Isaiah calls us to go up onto a high mountain, cry out at the top of your voice, and say, "Here comes with power the Lord God, who leads his flock like a shepherd and gathers the lambs in his arms." It strikes me the Lord comes with power, and we might have a certain concept of what that means. And then he talks about shepherding and just gathering little tiny animals in his arms. It's a different type of power than sometimes we think of. And we've chosen Go Repair It on the Mountain as our theme tonight, as our particular response to the call from Isaiah to go tell it on the mountain. Well, they say the bad news travels fast. I think we all know that. Whether it's news about our national mental health crisis, whether it's about unspeakable gun violence that we've seen, spiraling climate chaos, a 42-inch natural gas pipeline snaking its way very closely to Bethlehem Farm. There is plenty of bad news to go around. And it's easy to respond with fear, anger, withdrawal. But at Bethlehem Farm, our intention is to respond with hope in the guidance and care of our loving Creator, calling out from the mountaintop with good news. And so that's the focus of this event. And that brings us to the year that was. When I look back on this past year, there's so much joyful news to shout from the mountaintop. I think of our board of directors. They're renewing our 5-year plan, engaging the whole community in that, as we discern the Holy Spirit's will for where Bethlehem Farm can learn and grow in the next 5 years and deepen our impact. Several board members are in attendance tonight. If all of you could stand up, please. Raise a hand as I say your name. Lauren is here. Tim is here. Richard. Brenna, all the way in the back. Brent, Mary Catherine, Nick, who you will meet in a minute here. Rochelle. Yeah, and Steve Morrill is running our virtual room. And did I miss anybody? I got Richard. We'll keep him guessing. Are there any former board members in the room? Stand up if you are, Kara. John. So also Marcus, our new professional construction manager, was hired to help lead our Repairing Homes, Renewing Communities program. He started in April, so that was a big deal this year. Caretakers made a big impact this year. We had some hellos and goodbyes. Jack arrived in March, Sarah departed in May, Angela arrived in August, and Jenna, who you saw singing in the video, just left yesterday. So when I think back on their impact, Jack is our safety guru, I guess safety sidekick, acknowledging Colleen's working with him. So he maintains our vehicle fleet, he repairs safety issues around the farm. Sarah was a big part of retooling our home repair program last winter. Angela is helping with our homeschooling of our daughter Miriam, which is a huge help to Colleen since she's also in charge of our development. And Jenna was instrumental in helping install a 32,000-gallon rainwater containment on the farm. So there's a lot of that same type of story could be said for each of the caretakers and the impact that they're making. So let's have all the caretakers stand up. Now we got Molly in the back corner. We've got Anna right here in front of me. Anna, we've got Casey in the back. Jack. Angela, and Colleen and Steve are keeping the hearth going back at the farm, keeping the house fires burning. And I purposely didn't tell anyone Colleen wouldn't be here because I know none of you are here to see me. But my better half. And former caretakers, please stand up. Yeah. We had 15 summer servants this summer served a total of 82 weeks this past summer, enriching our mission and our lives in as many ways as the 18 of them. And so summer servants, past and present, please just stand up and let us acknowledge you guys. Awesome. We hosted over 300 week-long service retreat participants this summer as we continue to fill back up after the COVID quarantines. And so volunteers, past and present, please raise your hands. See who you are. Great. Yeah. And over 200 home repair projects were completed this past year, which is a record for us, ensuring low-income neighbors have safe, warm, dry, and healthy housing. And I recall especially, that's a lot of projects, but a few spring to mind. I think of helping Diana and David, who called us after a house fire, and they had lost everything. We were able to step in a critical moment for them because of you. Dean was sleeping on the floor in an uninsulated shed, and so we were able to help insulate, get him a bed. And he reported afterwards that he had woken up sweating for the first time in 10 years. So that was a fun insight from him. Charlie is a single father. He had wind blowing through rotten walls and missing windows, and it's now snug after many repairs. And Tim's roof had been leaking for several years. He had 4 feet of floodwater in 2016, and he never quite got the roof, a good crew up on the roof. And so we not only rebuilt the roof, but also the bathroom below that had completely rotted out, and that was the only bathroom in their home. And these are examples not only of working together with neighbors to ensure they have healthy housing, but also caretakers building relationships in the local community, and of week-long service retreat participants putting their faith into action and seeing results in real life of what faith in Jesus looks like. So just a few thoughts I wanted to share about highlights of the past year. And again, welcome. We're really excited and honored to have you here. And thank you for what you are, what you have been, what you will be for the Bethlehem Farm mission that we share together. And one of my favorite parts about this evening is when I can be done and we can hear some different speakers come up and share thoughts from the past year. And we can just soak in the hope that their thoughts bring and be inspired and go repair it on the mountain. So I'd like to invite up Nick Vergatos, who's the chair of our board.
Thank you, Eric. On behalf of the Bethlehem Farm Board, I have the honor of recognize and extend several much-deserved thank yous to some of the many people who have given to the mission in special ways over this past year. Now, for the past few years, we have been able to record these thank yous and give them during the virtual benefit, which means they got to be heavily edited and perfect for you. I don't get that opportunity, so bear with me, but I won't subject you to any reshoots or anything like that. So, okay. We also have a long list to recognize, which continues to be a huge blessing for us. So please, we'll save all our appreciation for all of them until the end, and we'll acknowledge them as a group. So I want to start by thanking the caretaker community and my fellow board members for their dedication and passion for Bethlehem Farm that they demonstrate every single day. Thank you to the Wheaton Franciscan Sisters and the Sisters of the Presentation of Dubuque, Iowa for their continued support. The farm received several grants and gifts from many organizations, including the Eckstein Charitable Trust, the Raskob Foundation for Catholic Activities, Bernard P. McDonough Foundation, Disabled Veterans National Foundation, Volunteer West Virginia, Dominican Sisters of the Sacred Heart Convent, Helen Brack Foundation, Cook Foundation, Blanche M. Walsh Charity Trust, United Way of the Greenbrier Valley, Dominican Sisters of Peace, Forum for Theological Exploration, Hollowell Dawkins Foundation, Our Lady of Grace Catholic Church, and the Pat and Patty Crowley Fund. We've also had many generous support from many families around the area, including the Amont, Moran, Buck, Markells, Murray, Carney, Fitz, McNeilis, Hayner, Haynick, Valenzuela, Ruggeber, Arcuel, Brennan, Shirley Strom, Grady, Gredimus, Hamill, Hazelhorse, Hofer, Kraus, Matthews, Mayhew, Neary, Rassa, Rebelar, Snidel Scott, Schaefer, Sharp, Simon, Sutter, Teitchen, Timmons, Tracy, and Wolfbrook families, as well as support from John Hannigan, Catherine Lesser, Kathleen Pull, Mark Slane, and several anonymous donors. We've also received gifts in memory of people, including Sylvia Hofer, Bill and Betty Mann, Gary Karadzinski, Lynn Gredinas, John and Michael Wright, and Richard D. Gamish. I also want to thank all of our monthly donors and everyone who contributes time, talent, and treasure to support Bethlehem Farm in so many, many different ways. We also want to acknowledge Nazareth Farm, Jerusalem Farm, and Wellspring of Greenbrier for their ongoing support and companionship as we live out our mission. We also had several sponsors and organizers who made this event tonight possible. First, a gigantic thank you to all the event helpers and volunteers who helped set up from early this morning to run all the stations tonight, to do the dishes, to clean things up. They've been doing amazing things all day. Including all the individuals and businesses who donated to the silent auction items that you guys get to bid on. Special thank you to the caretakers and the board members on the benefit planning committee who spent many, many hours outside of the regular board meetings and the regular duties to put this event on. It's a gigantic undertaking and they pulled it off and it's a wonderful event. A special thank you to Catherine Moran, Rochelle and Ariel Simon, Brad and Katie Stalcup, the Gradenhosh Johnson family, Colonel's Gourmet Popcorn, Applebee's of Noblesville, Chick-fil-A, Greyhound Pass Westfield, for sponsoring and donating our food and drink tonight. Thank you also to the Ignatian Solidarity Network for running the live stream for all those attending here virtually. And a big thank you to St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Parish for this wonderful, beautiful space, and especially for Kim Foote for coordinating and our partnership with them through this entire thing. And lastly, I really want to thank all of you guys for being here. This benefit, and really the farm as we all know it, would not be possible without all of you, for you taking the time throughout the years to join us, to give to us, to partner with us through all the different years that we've been here. We couldn't be here without you guys, so thank you so much. So let's give all of them, everyone a round of applause for gratitude.
Okay, thank you, Nick. And our first speaker who's going to share a witness of an experience at Bethlehem Farm is Rochelle Santerre, volunteer from Our Lady of Grace from 2020 and 2021. So come on up, Rochelle, and she'll share a reflection.
Hi guys, my name is Rochelle Santerre, and I'm a junior at Indiana University right now, studying biology and international studies. I live in Noblesville, Indiana, and have two younger sisters, both of whom have been to the farm as well. I have been given the opportunity to share my experience with you from the visits I've made to the farm, an experience that changed my life and how I've lived since then. And whether you have been out to the mountaintop in West Virginia or not, I hope it can remind you of the incredible impact the farm has had on people's lives. My first two visits for the farm were in the summer of 2020 and 2021 with a small group from Our Lady of Grace Parish, and it was unbelievable. I was welcomed home as I stepped out of the car by summer servants and caretakers who I would share so many memories with in those short months. Every morning we would have a slow wake up and pray with each other, simply showing gratitude for the lives we were given and the beauty of creation that was so evident everywhere around us. After prayer, we would enjoy breakfast and get work done around the farm, whether it be taking care of the chickens, praying raccoons hadn't invaded the coop, picking berries and gardening with Tori, chopping firewood, or preparing lunches for everyone who would go out to the work sites that day. I quickly came to realize that everything done at Bethlehem Farm was directly serving someone else and putting to use the gifts and the land that God gave us in a very clear way. After morning chores, we would go out on mission, helping repair homes throughout nearby communities. The first thing that struck me, going out into the surrounding towns, was how tight-knit everybody seemed to be, and how familiar everyone was with Bethlehem Farm. The site supervisors would catch up with the lives of people whose houses we were working on. We would pray with them, we would eat with them, and simply live life alongside them. There were no formalities or a sense of entitlement, just gratitude. My time there, I worked on several roofs. The first work site I worked on was waterproofing the man's house, the big bright roof that you can see just from the second-story balcony of the farmhouse. The next day, we went down into town, laying trusses down and waterproofing a roof on Bonnie's house. I can't remember exactly how many generations had lived in her little Appalachian home, but I want to say I met at least 4 while I was there, between her daughters, granddaughters, and great-granddaughters. There was so much joy and gratitude in her family, despite the fact that she quite literally did not have a roof over her head. And the experience truly humbled me, and still comes to my mind today. One of the most impactful moments that I had at the farm was at night, when we would come home from the farmhouse after a long day and reflect on the time that we had at the work sites. Maybe take a bucket shower, come together over a meal, and simply have fun. I don't think I've laughed quite as hard as I did for some of our group's reflection skits. And then when we wrapped up the activities for the night, we would pray together before going to bed. Time wasn't rushed at the farm, and to be honest, most of the time, the only measure I had for when it was in the day was the sun. And yet there was no room to be lazy or take anything for granted. It was a true exercise in simplicity and surrender, and these have had a lasting impact on my life the last couple of years. Especially as I've lived at college, constantly surrounded by people whose daily lives are full to the brim with commitments, social gatherings, and a steady stream of constant stimulation. I realized how important it was to me to live with people I can pray with, eat with, and share memories with. Me and my roommates still make an effort to eat together during the week and take time at the end of the day to pray together. Bethlehem Farm helped me to realize how living out a life of Catholic mission and service should look. And it showed me how to disconnect from the material things that this world places on a pedestal and focus on what truly matters most. They say as a Catholic, our job is not to convert hearts. That's up to God. It's simply to make an image of what a life in communion with God could be. Making people stop and reconsider where they are and where they're going. And that's exactly what Bethlehem Farm was for me. It showed me this image and allowed me to take a step back, break my life down to the basics, and it helped me to realize that this joy, simplicity, prayer, community that I've experienced is something that needs to be shared. It recentered my heart, and it's because of this conversion that I have been leading a Bible study for 2 years at college and find myself drawn back to the church every week for daily mass, adoration, and confession. I miss all the experiences I had on the farm, and so I'm planning to go back for college week this year, and I'm going on a mission trip this spring to an island in Costa Rica, experiencing severe physical and spiritual poverty. The farm has given me an opportunity, unlike any other I've had, to realize what's important in life. I'm truly grateful for the light that it's shown on my relationship with Christ and how it's called me to love him in everyone I encounter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rochelle. Meg Shemansky was a summer servant this past summer, and she would like to share a reflection of her experience.
Hi everyone, my name is Meg Shemansky, and I wanted to tell you all a little bit about my time at Bethlehem Farm. I originally was prompted to go to the farm by our one and only Miss Lauren LaCoy, and after getting to know each other a bit better on a retreat, she insisted that I would love the farm and offered for me to come with her crew on a high school group week that summer. Although I would have graduated by then, I was interested enough to look more into it and considered going. For whatever reason, on July 9, 2022, I decided to hop in a van with Miss LaCoy and 5 other girls and head to the top of a strange mountain in West Virginia. And wow, was I glad I did. When we rolled into the gravel parking lot, everyone came out running the house to greet us with a big hug and a warm welcome home. Shocked at this outpouring of hospitality, I instantly knew that this is somewhere I would soon call home as well. Whether it's the individual mugs you pick out for the week, the no-shoe policy, or the frequent hugs, Bee Farm is a place that makes any stranger feel like they stepped into their very own home. Just within my short group week, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace and belonging. Waking up to Steve's James Taylor songs, hearing Molly's laugh through the open windows, trying my first farm witch on the work site, and taking a much-needed nap in the breezeway hammock, I quickly felt the community that the farm so often preached. In such a short week, I got a small glance into the rhythm of life at Bethlehem Farm and the beauty that can be so easily discovered with this lifestyle. Not only did I realize that living simply, sustainably, and spiritually was still possible in today's world, but I found myself wanting to reflect these values in my life as I headed home. With tears in our eyes and all too well, the 10-minute version, playing in our van as LaCoy drove through the mountains, I knew I would be back soon enough. And as I promised myself, I followed that tug that continued to pull me towards the farm. I filled out a summer servant application and arranged my summer so that I could spend a month there. Unsure of what the next month would hold as my dad dropped me off, I had no idea the beautiful lessons I would learn, the breathtaking places I would go, and the most impactful people I would encounter. The first 2 weeks of my stay were ordinary weeks where I continued to learn the ways of the farm, the behind-the-scenes work, and the maintenance that it takes to run such an operation. I spent my days in the garden with hands in the soil, harvesting garlic, onions, potatoes, mulching and tending to the blueberry bushes in the orchard, or taking care of our very own ravenous lassies, as Julius quickly named the chickens. Additionally, I had the opportunity to go out on the worksite with Marcus and work on a homeowner's house that needed to be finished up. These hot days, sealing the roof or replacing the ceiling allowed me to hear beautiful testimonies of faith, have honest and open conversations about where we are in our journey with Christ, as well as laugh every minute in between. These weeks served as much needed reflection time to be able to take a step back from my highly chaotic life and work towards a more intentional relationship with Christ by eliminating the excess that often clouds us from fully seeing God. I healed in ways I did not know that I needed to, and I had conversations with people who challenged my perspective and shared with me different, even more beautiful walks of life. These couple of weeks prepare me for the exciting and crazy group weeks ahead, in which I continue to learn more than I could have ever imagined. Coming in hot, Family Week started with a bang as 12 kids entered the farmhouse, all of their energy and excitement. This included Ethan, the renowned bandmate and baby whisperer. Originally uneasy about young children, I was unsure of how this week was going to unfold, but the group's fun and lighthearted spirit instantly made me feel at ease. I hopped around work sites and had the pleasure of meeting Dolores, who served us baked goods while we worked and offered up her house for the kids to rest throughout the day if they needed it. Her cheerful spirit and loud praises could be heard from across the yard, and her unwavering joy was a true testimony of faith in times of grief. I had powerful conversations with Dolores and shed a few tears as I learned her story and what has made her to be the beautiful woman she is today. Nearing the end of Family Week, we experienced a storm that knocked down trees and took out our power lines. Leaving the farm in an extended electricity fast, we relied on the generator during certain times and were able to get by with our solar energy and compost toilets as usual. Unfazed by this, the adults for the next group week rolled in with an unmatched amount of excitement and eagerness. This spry group from Chicago was ready to hop out on the work site, dig their hands in the dirt, and get to work, and so we put them to work. This week brought new work sites and exciting new opportunities, whether it be replacing old windows, siding a house, or helping out an elderly neighbor. The rest of my time was spent at a homeowner's house installing new windows and sitting on her front steps hearing her story. Through these conversations, I truly began to understand what it means to be strong and resilient in the face of hardship. I saw what selfless love looks like, and it continues to inspire me day to day. To hear people's stories, to walk in their shoes, and lend a helping hand in whatever way they need is more powerful and transformative than I ever could have known. And so today, I wanted to share what the farm means to me, the peace and healing it offers, the joy and hospitality it extends, and the beautiful lifestyle that reflects the very face of Jesus himself. In a short 19 years, the farm has become home to hundreds of people, and I hope it continues to touch people's hearts the way it did mine. Thank you.
Okay, last but not least, we have the Tychin family, or part thereof anyway. They've been on some of our family weeks. And I think Jake has been a summer serving, board member, etc. All the things. I'm in the front row.
Hi, I'm Jules. And my name is Eve.
I'm Allison.
And I'm Jake.
We are missing the two smallest members of Team Tychin, but you might see them up here on our slideshow. So we're very honored to be able to talk with all of you. We were on Family Week this past summer, and as we're reflecting on our talk, we're thinking about all of the group weeks, and for a lot of you in this room, you have been on a group week, and there is one thing that is constant through all the group weeks, and I wish I was serving you tomato soup and grilled cheese, but I'm not doing that tonight. Instead, the one thing that remains constant is the review of the day. And there is one person in this room in particular who loves a review of the day more than anybody else in this room, and I happen to marry him. And the next two people who probably love review of the days are these children. So you and I are in the same boat. And instead of giving you a review of the day, we are going to give you a review of the week. And there are pictures to go along with it.
On the first day of Family Week, my beef farm gave to me a hug that was a little stinky. On the second day of Family Week, my beef farm gave to me two girls of gardening and a hug that was a little stinky. On the third day of Family Week, my beef farm gave to me three sawdust buckets, two girls of gardening, and a hug that was a little stinky. On the fourth day of Family Week, my beef farm gave to me four kids a swimming, three sawdust buckets, two girls of gardening, and a hug that was a little stinky. On the fifth day of Family Week, my beef farm gave to me 5 dozen kids. 4 kids a swimming, 3 sawdust buckets, 2 girls a gardening, and a hug that was a little stinky. On the 6th day of Family Week, my beef farm gave to me 6 boards of painting, 5 dozen kids. 4 kids a swimming, 3 sawdust buckets, 2 girls a gardening, and a hug that was a little stinky. On the 7th day of Family Week, my beef farm gave to me 7 hours of driving, 6 boards of painting, 5 dozen kids. 4 kids a swimming, 3 sawdust buckets, 2 girls a gardening, and a hug that was a little stinky. I've been coming out to Bethlehem Farm. I've been coming out to Bethlehem Farm for many years, and it's different to bring your family. There are so many exciting things for them to experience the community of so many people that we love, for them to encounter the Catholic social teachings and prayer while we're out there, for them to live simply and just be together, and also for them to take part in Bethlehem Farm's most beloved tradition of all, the review of the day. Yes, I said. But that's not all that's involved in Family Week. In many ways, it's a challenging week for us as parents. We bring our young children out there. We have to negotiate nap times and eating new foods and schedules and trying all sorts of new things. And in fact, even, not on the parenting side of things, all the things that distract us and are extra in our life are really brought out in a real way. It's as if we show up at the farm and our cup is very, very full. And when we try to add the cornerstones into our lives through this immersion of a week, then there's not room for all the other stuff that was there that is displaced and exits. All the things that were those distractions, the media, the stresses, the phones, all the things where we don't necessarily get to do what's most important for us as a family. And so we're forced to ask really big questions about our own life while we're at the farm. For us as Catholics, we really ask the question about everything: is this of Christ or not? And you're forced to answer those questions in a real way. For those who aren't, maybe the question is this of everlasting love or not? And when you start to ask those questions, you realize maybe not everything in your life is quite as ordered as it should be. And yet this is the real blessing of going to the farm, is that we become very grounded. Not that kind of grounded, but as if maybe we've been flowing along in a river that we've been unable to stop. When we get to the farm, when we clear out the things that are unimportant, we finally have our feet on the ground. We're able to see the priorities in our life and continue. And so this, when I think about the farm and where it's going in the future, Family Week really represents that to me. That not only was I transformed by Bethlehem Farm, now I bring my family to be grounded in it and to be transformed as well. And in this way, we share Christ and the gospel anew.
I love Bethlehem Farm because I love all the people that are there. Please support Bethlehem Farm tonight so others can be transformed.
So as you know, this entire event is aimed not just to fill our bellies and with delicious treats in our ears with good conversation, but also to raise money to pursue the Bethlehem Farm mission. And with your help, we can welcome hundreds of youth and young adults who want to join us next year in order to put their faith into action. With your help, we can recruit summer servants and caretakers to lead this community effort. With your help, we can continue to pay a living wage to our construction manager so he can continue to serve our mission and support his wife and 3 children. And with your help, we can enter into relationship with the over 40 low-income families on our waiting list whose stories right now are full of hardship, and maybe we could enter into that story together. I'm just going to give one little example of, maybe big example of a family who needs your help and who we are working with right now. When we began working with them, Amber and Devin were living in an unfinished shed building without electricity, water, indoor plumbing, or insulation. And the first child is expected on Christmas. So Anna and Marcus had other plans for November and December, but that changed with a phone call. And we have begun work, but there's a long way to go to make it a safe, warm, healthy home for the new baby. And so that's just one family of the over 40 on our waiting list, to give you an example. And we appreciate the gift you've already given by your presence here, and we humbly ask you to give what you can in support of Bethlehem Farm. Our Repairing Homes, Renewing Communities program for the mathematicians out there, it requires an investment of about $450,000 a year, and that's a big number to me. But that also leverages another $250,000 in kind. My time, because I'm a volunteer, all the caretakers, the volunteers, summer servants, all that time on the sites. We raised the $450,000 through a combination of $200,000 in foundation grants. So all of that list of foundations you heard does some heavy lifting, which really helps. $125,000 in service retreat fees, so the groups come and they pay their way, but we can't charge more to where people won't show up. So you got to kind of hit a point, even if it's not quite what it could be. And $50,000 in client loan repayments. So it's like Habitat. Yes, we and they are donating labor to finish the project, but then the materials they pay back for. And $75,000 in individual giving. So this time of year, we're trying to raise the money for next year. And it's not just tonight, it's the newsletter, it's Giving Tuesday, it's year-end giving. But tonight we try to get a chunk of that, maybe $30,000 between the auction and the tickets that you've already purchased and any donations, store purchases, anything that is given tonight goes towards the farm. One special help that we have, let's see, where are we at? So we set a goal of $75,000. As of this morning, we've raised about $20,000 since November 1st. And 6,400, 6,500 of that in benefit proceeds. So that was before you all walked in the door. And I have a special announcement that an anonymous donor has set a matching challenge for us. So every gift, and it can be a donation, it can be a auction bid from this point forward, it can be a raffle ticket, it can be a pledge. That's fine. And that'll be matched up to $10,000. So that bumps us a lot closer. Yeah, thank you. And there is a pledge table right over by E-Dog. There's a basket. That way. There's a basket. There's the funding plan. There's slips. You can go to that table. You can come to myself or another caretaker. Like I said, the auction items are still up for bid, and I'm sure there's some that are a little embarrassingly low right now. So just know that it's kind of like the money you set aside for tithing and the money you set aside for Christmas. It's all fair game over there. So you can do a stretch. And let's a couple notes. The program has the wrong order on the table closing. So the table with the trip is closing last, and that's table A is closing last. So it's closing B, C, B, A. So ignore the paper program on closing order. And that's in about 25 minutes is the first table. So 9:25, 9:35, 9:45, 9:55. We're going to call the raffle in about 10 minutes. And when you win an item, whenever that table's closed, you can follow the links in the message that you'll get a message from the app, or you'll get a text. And when you win an item, follow the links in the message to pay, or you can walk to one of our checkout helpers who will be where? The auction checkout. Tim, where are people checking out for the auction?
At that table right next to you, with the flowers.
Right here? Okay. So this table is where we'll be checking out for the auction if you don't end up paying on your phone. And after you pay, you can just go, and I think Angela is going to be helping box up items, etc. So remember, all proceeds go to Bethlehem Farm, so bidding wars are highly encouraged. All right, are there any other announcements for the application of this community? Great, so we're excited about the year ahead, and we're confident that with your help together, we can go repair it on the mountain. Thanks, everybody.
God is awesome. He is my all in all. He's my everything. I don't know, he just works in mysterious ways that you don't have any understanding of how he works, but he works. Because I just prayed and I said, God, you know I need help here, and you all came, and bam, you was here. I mean, the windows here on the porch and the window in the back, and they done a tremendous job with the door. Marcus reframed the door beautiful, and he's just awesome. And Jack, he's awesome. All of them were awesome. You know, I'm just a person, I love people, and I love everybody. And I mean, they just really done a good job. The windows are beautiful, as you can see. If you can see them, the windows are beautiful, and I don't have to feel that cold air coming in anymore. And they done a beautiful painting job. Everybody was just great. In my home, especially in the back where the Marcus put up that new back door, new screen door. He put it up, and this door, and I think it helped it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother's house bumped down, and pretty much we built them a house. So that's how I knew about you guys when I was a kid. And I filled out an application with my house and walked on and went from there.
Cool. What does your home mean to you?
This is the house I grew up in. So it means everything. I just so many memories in this house. It was my mom's house, and I inherited, so I'm just happy to finally be able to get the work that needs done to my home.
Mm-hmm. Tell us your experience about working with Bethlehem Farm.
It's been wonderful. Everybody has been so nice and so friendly and lovable, and I fell in love with pretty much everybody that came. I'm going to be really sad when everything's done.
Us too. We know you've been a very giving host, always generous. We're curious what inspires you to be so giving.
It's how I was raised. Especially if somebody's doing a lot of work on my home, it's only right to offer what I did. Like, it's just how I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody helps you, you give back, pretty much. And that's just how I am. It's just how I was raised.
So when did you move into this house?
I bought it, I think it was in 95, I bought the property. And at that time, this property that I owned was called the Catholic Work Farm at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And they sold this out, so I ended up buying it. And then me and wife built we called it a retirement home. And
Sure.
I watched the spring come, spring go, summer come, summer go, and then my favorite time of the year was the fall of the year. I really liked that.
Hey, what exactly were we here to fix? What was going on with your roof?
Yes, I had a leak in my roof there, and I've been promised a long time that it would be taken care of, but they have never got around to it. But,
Sure.
But I'm really blessed to get this work done. I don't have to worry about the winter time. There's water coming. And it's good to meet people, make new friends, and enjoy the fellowship.
Absolutely.
And especially share the Word of God with one another, and testimonies and friendship. Very wonderful. But, my wife, we love it here. My wife's health's not real great either. She has a lot of health issues and stuff, but we try to take care of one another best that we can, sharing some of my stories. That's one thing. Of course, Farm knows that I've been dealing with cancer and some health issues and stuff there, but I always enjoy sharing what I have, or a little bit of knowledge, if it's a blessing.
Yeah.
And down through the years, I've shared my testimony with people and stuff there. and it's helped them, and that's a blessing to me.